Hi, I'm an alcoholic who can't play an instrument, but I'd like to be a sober person who plays piano instead. Here's how I've gone about doing that the past couple weeks. I quit drinking cold turkey. I've tried tapering off of alcohol slowly in the past, but it never ends with me drinking nothing, which is the goal. Plus, the last hangover I had was so bad, I thought I was dying, so it made the decision that much easier. We'll come back to that decision later. But the first day of my self-instruction, I sat down at the piano, and, I just sort of took stock of the situation. I checked it all out, checked it all the notes are there in the proper order. You gotta make sure they're there and in the right order. This is key to a good playing experience. Then I realized the book I was set to learn from is simultaneously a book about how to read music. I have even less of an idea of how to do that than to play the thing, so I go and refresh my memory of those silly mnemonics you learn in like 3rd grade. The book says every good boy deserves favor, which is wrong, because I was taught that they deserve fudge, and I think that's correct. I learned face, you can't go wrong with face. Left hand looks good too, but what's with all these good boys? We gotta come up with better mnemonics. Anyway, after a bit of study and attempts at memorization, I go back to the reading exercise. It is slow going. At this point, I start to get a little overwhelmed by how much I don't know. I start thinking, why didn't I take those lessons I was offered as a kid? Who let me become a musician without knowing how to play anything? What am I doing? So I switched to an easier book of scales and arpeggios. This is where I learn your fingers have assigned numbers, which is fantastic because I was starting to wonder how I would know which finger to use when. I start out with my left hand, since it's the weakest. Weak hand. A coward, honestly. It sits there all day looking at old righty-tighty over there doing all the work. So I switch to the right hand. I'll work on old lefty later. I'm trying really hard to be patient with myself. This is the thing I think I'll have the hardest time learning, and I don't really have an instructional book to help with that. I focus intently on practicing my scales, even though the withdrawal symptoms are making my hands shake pretty bad. A few days of this, and the symptoms get worse, but still manageable. And then things go south pretty fast one day. I go to the ER on the 1st of July. I am terrified of doctors, but I was more terrified of my "you might have a stroke soon" blood pressure level. It was pretty high. I reluctantly accept medical care from people I don't trust. 8 grueling hours and a normal enough looking EKG and blood tests later, I'm home, feeling like shit, but glad I'm not dying. The next few days, I recovered by playing nonstop Game Boy. This, too, is all a part of the piano learning process. Trust me. I couldn't have played that little ditty a few weeks ago. This is when I first get a taste of my practicing actually paying off. It feels amazing. It's little, but it's something. That's about where I am right now, actually. I do as many runs of as many scales as I can do with both hands if I can, until I get frustrated, and then I go do something else creatively fulfilling, like making weird things to put in little free libraries. I think soon I'll be ready to go back to the slightly more difficult book. You go back, Jack. Do it again, as the philosopher once said. I feel like a brand new person, but not in the "ooh, I'm so refreshed" sense, but literally I feel like a large baby. I don't really remember what I'm like without some amount of intoxicant in me, and that's scary. I don't know, I feel really vulnerable, more than I have in a really long time. But all pain is temporary. That's what I've been telling myself, at least. One day I'll manage to believe it. In the meantime, I'll just keep playing piano. Take care of yourself out there.